Hey guys, so today we're going to look a little bit at what our Math 2 Week 3, Day 3 is, and we're using our tree diagrams to follow through them and find the probability of a specific outcome. So this is going to really be a combination of our last 2 days that we've been working on, one of which where we had to find out how many total outcomes there were, and the other where we had to find out how many outcomes followed a specific path. So we're going to put both of those together. And what I'm going to recommend is the first thing we do, we can get all of these started by filling in the bottom of our probability with how many outcomes there are, because we know they all follow this tree diagram, so they're all going to have the same number of possible outcomes. And all we have to do is count these bottom ends of our roots to find out that number. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 total possible outcomes for each situation. Now we can go through and we can find our favorable outcomes in there. And to do that, we're going to trace through them, and I'll show us through how we do that. So we do the probability of at least one vowel. So we need at least one vowel. 2 is all right, 0 is not. So we always start at our top, and I like to work from left to right, going all the way through. So we can go start at the top. We have an A, D. There's at least one vowel in there, so that's one situation where it works. Go back to the top, go next to the right, A, E. That's another one. There's 2 in there, but we only count that as one outcome because we're not counting how many vowels there are. We're counting how many paths have a vowel in them. So that's 2 paths. BF, no vowels. B8, or sorry, BG, no vowels. CH, no vowels. CI, there's a vowel. So that's 3 vowel paths that we found. So we're going to write that this has 3 out of 6 paths that have vowels, which we can simplify that down to 1/2 if we want. So it's just as likely that we're going to get a path that has a vowel as we are to get a path that doesn't have a vowel. Now notice we didn't do 4 because there are 4 vowels in here, but only 3 paths contain at least one vowel. So we're not counting how many vowels there are. We're counting the paths. So let's look at our probability of no vowels. So we're going to go back through that. And I'm going to talk 2 things real quick here. We're going to go back through it and count here. So we have this path has AD, there's a vowel. AE has a vowel. BF, there's no vowel in there. BG, no vowel in there. CH, no vowel in there. And CI, but there is a vowel in there. So that's another 3 situations. Once again, we counted the paths, not the numbers that aren't, or not the letters that aren't. We counted the paths. So now we're going to find the probability of actually, before I move on to that, I'm going to talk about this one again really quick. So something has at least one vowel and something has no vowels. We're going to talk about this later in our weeks, but I'm going to mention it really quick right now. If these ones have vowels, everything else doesn't have a vowel. So that means if 3 of the 6 have vowels, the other 3 of that 6 don't have vowels. So those are both, when we simplify it down, to 1/2. So that's another way we could look at it. And we're going to talk more, those are a very special type of event that's happening. And we're going to talk about that more later. But let's move on to our last one here. Probability of G. So we're going to go through here. AD, not one in there. AE, not one in there. BF, nope. BG, there's one there. CH, no. CI, no. So we had 1. So there's a 1/6 probability that we're going to get a G. So this is fairly simple to actually follow through. You do have slightly more complex tree diagrams in your homework, but they shouldn't be too bad. You can keep following through them in that same way. And hopefully you're doing all right. If you have any questions, shoot me a message. You can message me on my email, through Teams, or that iPad text app that I sent out a number for earlier.